I have been meaning to make this video for so long. Apologies that it's taking me this long, but this is everything you need to know for college essays. And this is specifically for like the college admission essay, not like essays you write in college, but essays that will help you get accepted to a college or apply for the Common App, whatever you need this college essay for. But this is the video. I'm gonna try to put everything here, and I'm gonna try to keep it as short as I can. I don't want to over explain and give too many examples because then we're just gonna be here all day. But I will make more videos in this series getting more detailed about specific styles, specific types of essays. But either way, let's get started. So what is it? College essays, as I just explained, are something you use to kind of showcase who you are. That's literally the main point. I want you to hold that so tightly. Showcase who you are, showcase what matters to you. This is something that exists outside of your resume, outside of your initial application where you write your name, your date of birth, like where you were born, what school you went to, what your grades were. This exists outside of that. And the whole purpose of it is to show college admissions readers that this is who I am. Like, this is me on paper. This is a bullet list of all the awesome things that I've done. This is how I think. This is how I write and how I speak, because it's your voice, right? When you write something, this is in your voice. This is how I think about the world. This is a specific thing that happened to me that helped me make the decisions of who I am now, why I want to go to this school. This is why I chose my major. And college essay prompts are usually something like, tell us like what inspires you, tell us what matters to you, tell us how you've reflected on an obstacle or a challenge, tell us something that helped you grow. They really just want to know what got you here and where you're going. And where you're going is what you should include, but they want to know the basic things is, should we allow this person into our school? And if we do allow this person into our school, what will they bring? What will they give us? What will they add to our school, essentially? Like, will this student make us proud? And do we believe that this student's gonna make it all the way to graduation? Because this is about numbers a little bit. We need to be able to say that a certain percentage of our students graduate always. It's such a good number to say 90% of our students that enroll end up graduating, end up getting their degree, end up going. That looks so good for colleges. So what you need to communicate, not only in your resume, but also in your college essay, is that you are someone to bet on. You are going to be a good bet. You're going to be someone who starts school and finishes. You're going to be somebody who maybe creates initiatives or starts clubs or participates in a lot of clubs, or you have a lot of good ideas. You know, there's a lot of ways to communicate that, but they just want to know who you are. Like, should we let this person into our campus? That's basically it. And once you think of it that way, really helps you kind of add certain things to your essay or take out certain things to your essay and kind of just frame it correctly. Like, oh, what I'm doing here is trying to convince someone that I'm good for this. And there are a lot of ways to do that. So, okay. I wrote notes, so if you see me looking down, it's because of this. Because there's a lot, and I want to make sure that this is an all-around video that you're able to watch and be like, okay, I get it a little bit more. Like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. Why it matters. It humanizes you. I think I discussed that already. And we want to know, I want to make sure that the essay that you write is strong and not forgettable. Like, keep that in mind as well. Like, is this forgettable, what you're writing? Is this forgettable? Is this something someone can toss aside? And from beginning to end, you should never be bored. Like, you should always be kind of pulling back layers, and we should be understanding a little bit more about you. When to write your essay. This is a really good one. And it is the summer before your senior year. Take that summer, write your essay. And an essay seems like something that could be written in one night, and it can be, absolutely. But I have been working with students who have taken from June all the way to September to write their essay, like actively work on it every week. Not every single day, not every moment of every day, but just constantly be putting into it, reviewing it, looking at it again, having other people review it, talking to, once school starts, like showing it to a teacher or a counselor and being like, hey, what do you think of this? What should I add? Am I on the right track here? And that's such, like, the students who do that are the ones who are crafting something. It's like a painting, and you start by blocking, and you start by adding kind of like the blank canvas, but adding the colors where like the shapes are going to be starting outlining on whatever shapes you're creating. And then going in with little details and constantly like kind of fixing mistakes, going back in, adding more layers, and just creating a masterpiece essentially. So how defined, how like layered and detailed your paper is and how ready it is for someone to see it is up to you. Like how much work are you putting into it? You can definitely write an essay in one night, but I do recommend like giving it some time and really sitting with it. And one thing I really like recommend, this is a major tip, is reading other people's essays. You can find them online. You can literally ask the people around you if they're also writing essays, to read them, because you will quickly find out, like even if you're not like an avid reader or just someone who writes a lot, you will find out really quickly, ooh, these are not good. And I'm starting to see a pattern of like some of these like not good essays. And then you'll see the ones that are like, wow, like I feel like I learned something. Like, ooh, these are good. These really touched on. And it gives you ideas and inspiration and lets you know what's good and what's not. Like once you start reading a couple of essays, like you could read 2 or 3 and be like, oh, this is good and this is not so good and this is better than that one. And you have to figure out the why. Okay? That's really important. Yeah, expecting to be really good at something without any experience in what the final product looks like in other people, it's really hard. Like trying to create a recipe without knowing what it's going to come out to is difficult. It's just difficult. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it'll be far better if you know what you're actually making or have an idea. Okay. So we discussed when to write it, which will be the summer before senior year. That is when kids decide to do it because they've had the most time in high school already. You have the 3 years prior, and you also have, you're also applying to colleges, so you're gonna need that paper. And most people apply by October, end of the fall of the year that of their senior year, basically. Okay, sorry. Okay, how to start. So there's a lot of kind of different types of essays, and deciding which one you want to go with may take you some time to decide that. There's the journey, you know, I started here and now I'm here. You have the slice of life, which is taking away that part and just kind of showing you, if you ever heard of slice of life anime, you can look them up if you want to, but it's literally just a day by day, or like a zoom in to like one section, one time, one day, 1 hour. It could be like, here's a little snapshot and this says everything you need to know about me. Like this occurred, and once you've heard this story or heard this little slice of my life, you'll understand completely. That's what a slice of life is, and those can be really effective. The journey can also be really effective, but it's also like extremely popular, and sometimes people get caught up in like the little in-betweens, like how much should I be including. A slice of life, in my opinion, is really good. It's like it's really good. But obviously do what feels right for you. There's also stories that reveal character. So like this doesn't have to necessarily be a slice of life. This could be a more prolonged story, but it's just something that reveals something about you. There's a lot of other types of styles as well, but these are kind of just the ones that I'm seeing the most from students who send me their essays. By the way, I didn't give any credentials. I run a free college tutor service, and I read a lot of essays, and I help students kind of organize them and give them ideas and kind of create the best essay that they can, and tweak it if you already written it. But those are some of my credentials. I also have an English degree and I'm getting my master's. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, these are some common topics and I just want you to know them, okay? This is gonna be like the background identity concept that's really popular. The obstacle or challenge, these are really popular with essay prompts. So the Common App is gonna have a lot of these, kind of like, oh, what challenge did you go through? Questioning a belief is super interesting. If you have had a turnaround in that like little years of your life, like you're only, I don't know, 17 by the time you start writing your college essay, if you've had a questioning a belief, that's incredible. Like please share that if you feel like it's really important to you. But questioning a belief and discovering something on the other side is a really powerful essay in and of itself. So maybe consider writing that one. Personal growth and reflection, another super popular Common App prompt. Your inspiration, your influence, tell us who they are, and also your passions. So these are all super like broad, but they kind of make you think about what matters to you, Ooh, I have something to say. Oh, I have a person who inspired me. Oh, I had an event that was super challenging in my life and I overcame it. Those are good. Just never forget to reflect. Always reflect. Like whatever happened in your life, reflect. Okay, style. We have a lot of different types of styles. Probably the most popular that I see is the informative. Like I'm just telling you these things that happened and as they happened, and or they're explaining like their passion, or they're explaining their why they're doing what they're doing, or why they're going for their major. Those are informative and expository essays where you were just explaining a lot and you're talking a lot about one topic, or it could be multiple topics. But what I'm going to recommend is the narrative essay. That is not for everyone. Please hear me. That is not for everyone. That is not the type of, if you're not into narrative essays, if that's never felt like something you could do well, don't do it. Just do what feels best. Write like yourself. I would definitely go narrative because that's how I feel. I mean, I've written a book. That's how I would best express myself. If you feel an informative or an expository essay expresses you the best and tells your story the best, do that one, please. Structure. Okay, now we're getting into like actually writing the essay. Okay, hopefully this isn't too jumbly. When you are writing your essay, you're going to go for, there's a couple structures, but the most common and probably the easiest is the hook, the intro, which the intro is going to have a few components. You're going to have like a main statement or thesis, or like, hey, this essay is about, don't say this essay is about, but you're giving a hint into it. You're going to build, and then you're going to reflect. So when you're building, those are your body paragraphs. And you can have as many body paragraphs as you want. This is your essay. Some college essays have a word count, and please keep that in mind. But as far as how little or how big you want your body paragraphs to be, or how many, as long as you're within the word count, you should be fine. And reflection is going to be your conclusion. So it's kind of like a sandwich. I always think about it as a sandwich: your intro, your body, and your conclusion. So bread, and like your ingredients on the inside. So that's basically like your lasting statement, your structure that you might want to go with. If you want to get creative, and I've seen people get creative, please get creative. But usually the people who do get creative, like I saw somebody describe, this was so amazing. I don't know if you should take this one because it's been used, but like I just thought it was such an incredible structure. It was a student talking about falling down the rabbit hole, and just basically an Alice in Wonderland parody, and falling down the rabbit hole and just kind of like seeing their life floating past them, or seeing objects that really mattered in their life. And that is a very unique structure. That essay required like narrative and informative, and it involved a lot of things, but it was such a unique concept. And rarely, I will say that before you jump into trying to like create something creative like that, usually people who end up like messing with the structure or juggling the ingredients of whatever it is, usually those people have a lot of writing experience already. Like they've written a lot, they've read a lot, they've seen how essays work, they know how to rewire things. So in order to break the rules, because again, there's not really much rules, but in order to break the rules, you should really be comfortable with what the rules are. Like you should fully know how it works already. And that's why authors will sometimes break the rules, or a lot of times break the rules, if you know how the rules work up and down, like the back of your hand. Like, oh, I've written a million of these essays, I'm going to start rearranging things. And you can do that right off the bat, but I do recommend practice essays, or just getting so used to like the structure in your bones that you feel comfortable messing with it, because it's a big thing. It's a very big risk to be like, oh, I'm starting the essay like with my conclusion instead. Like, whoa, like that's super, it's strong, it's not forgettable, but that takes a lot of skill to do right. You can easily mess that up. So making sure that you've read and you've written enough to the point where you feel comfortable doing that, like, by all means, please. And I recommend it anyway, just so you can know what a good essay is and what a bad essay is. So you don't want a bad essay. You need to know what to avoid and to look out for. Revision. So after you've written that initial structure, you decided, hey, I'm going with a hard challenge in my life. I'm going to do the typical structure of hook, introduction, build, conclusion, I'm gonna do the typical structure, and then I'm gonna do it in, you know, the informative style. Awesome. And you're starting to write. After you've written everything and it's all down on the paper, and I recommend writing more than you need because you can always cut, and that's what revision is. You're going to be cutting fluff, any filler, you're like, oh, I've already said this. Any repetition, you sometimes don't realize you're repeating things, unless you need to for emphasis, but sometimes you will say something like, oh, my childhood was really hard and that's why I was dedicated to public service, or child service. And then literally a couple sentences later being like, and because of my hard childhood or my difficult upbringing, it's like you're saying the same thing. That is fluff. That is repetition, and that is something where the college admission reader can essentially roll their eyes and be like, I know. What else do you want to tell me? And sometimes you don't realize you're doing this 2 or 3 times. You will literally rephrase I see this. You will rephrase a sentence, like I just said, and put them in a different order, or you will say it again completely different. But that's more of a reflection in the conclusion type thing versus we're in the same paragraph and you're telling me the same things. That was just a little tip there, but I do see that a lot, guys. Get feedback. After you've revised on your own and you've cut enough fluff and you've decided, okay, I need feedback on this, go to your college career center if you have one in your school. Go to your counselor, please. Go to your English teacher. They would be more than happy that you were trying to do something with them. Be like, hey, can we meet at a certain time? I really want to discuss my essay, and if you could read it, blah, blah. Share that with them. Do that. You have resources. There's more than, it doesn't even have to be your English teacher. It can be any writing teacher or any teacher who does that. Just be like, hey, I need help with this, blah, blah, blah. Some schools have like writing tutors and stuff like that. If you don't have that, you definitely have an English teacher. You definitely have like a language arts teacher or even a history teacher. Any teacher who's writing, you admire even. But yeah, any teacher. So hopefully a teacher will get you under their wing and you guys can go back and go over your essay and figure out what's best. The last thing I have here is encouragement. And this is for you guys, those who are watching. You are doing so good. I applaud you for, even if this isn't for college, like maybe you're trying to get into a program or you're trying to study abroad or whatever your goals is, like I applaud you for wanting to go to school and educate yourself and learn more and kind of expand your mind. There's so much opportunity out there, and a lot of it, like it's literally one good written statement away from getting it. If you feel like I'm repeating stuff, this isn't unique or important. Your story is yours. It is entirely yours. No one has lived life the way that you have. Even if you have a sibling, even if you have a twin, they do not view things the same way you do. They do not have the same exact feelings that you do. They do not see through your eyes the same way. Even if it's a little to the left, you are living it differently. And your perspective, trust me, you have a story in you. You have, even if it's the tiniest thing, like this meant a lot to me, and it might not mean a lot to other people, but it meant a lot to me. Let college admission read about that. Let them know. Like it could be nothing, but like it could be fleeting. It could be something that happened when you were young that you, like everyone else moved on, but you didn't. And that's enough. That is good stuff for an essay. I'm not lying. But I encourage you to write your essay, to get into school. You're going to. You're going to do great. You already are. Okay. Bye. Oh, also, if you have any questions, please leave them. If you have any questions at all, I do this every single day. Like this is my job. This is how I work. But I love helping students, and every time a student will write me back and say, hey, I got an A on my paper, or I got that scholarship, like it literally like almost brings me to tears. I get so happy about it. But yes, please let me know any questions that you may have about essays, about school, about anything, any advice. Like I'm here.